All right, guys, what's going on? This is a little extra or something that me and my co-host decided that we was going to try to do on every Friday. And since he was not here for the last podcast, you're going to try to give y'all a little extra or a little snippet of what we normally do on Wednesdays. And we're going to talk about a few things really quick. Once again, if you don't know, we're going to introduce Bills. Let everybody know who you are, man.
Yeah, man, I'm Bill's Fourth. I was on the first podcast and everything went pretty well. Hopefully our subs grow as far as, people who listen to the podcast. And, yeah, sorry I missed yesterday, but we're going to get right back at it tonight.
Oh, man, no problem, man. We know how it is. Things happen. That's how it goes. I always think about the first podcast, and we almost lost all that information.
Man, if y'all could have been in the call after we recorded that and we thought we lost it, man, that mood, it was like a complete 180, yo.
Like seriously, we almost lost about 80 to 85% of that first podcast. But nevertheless, I mean, if you haven't checked it out, please go back and check both of them out. Especially the first one. I think the first one went through very well. But like, if you want to listen to how that went, as well as listen to what we have to say here, like you see on the screen right here, this is the new blog that came out for NBA 2K18, My League and My GM. I had a chance to look at it. Now, I was going to respond to it on Twitter. I actually was going to make this a solo version, but I wanted to make sure, since my co-host was not here on the last one, I wanted him to be here so we can get this one out the way, and I want his thoughts as well. So, This is what we have here. This My League blog is huge. I don't even think we have time to go into all of this. But just to sum it up, which I will leave the link down in the description for this blog, I just want to speak on it. I don't want to really repeat what we've read, or if you just coming around, and I know this may not be your first time hearing about this blog, but for us, we just want to touch on a few things as well as give our opinions on them. So, I'm gonna let you go first since you missed out on the last podcast. I want to know your thoughts on it.
Yeah, man. I mean that blog has so much detail for Simheads. It's crazy. They have a lot of things as far as the collective bargaining agreement, and as far as a lot of the rules that were changed. You got super max contracts now. They have analytics that they've added, analytic metrics that help you keep track of your team's stats and kind of help you, mold your team into the type of team that will be a successful team in the NBA. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of details that I'm probably forgetting.
Oh, no, absolutely. I know you are, because this was a massive blog. Not to take anything away from the broken up blogs that Madden has done, because like I said on the last podcast, I think they were pretty decent, blogs. It gave out a lot of information that helped, us as far as gamers. Even if we're just sim guys, it's good to see that information being implemented into the game. But when you look at this, I mean, this is massive, because this is basically catering to guys like us. This is straight out like, they know that there's a sim community out there, and they just catered this strictly for guys like us, and I applaud them for that, because you don't see anything like that anymore. It's like, for us, we're being left behind for the opening of packs and buying a bunch of VC or whatever to get your players all booted up,
and more importantly, online.
Yeah, exactly.
As a whole.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, online in general, it's like everything is just catered to that. And it's like the people who just want to, play offline and build a team and just have something that they could call their own without the interference of other people. It's like they really went in and said, offline for life. I mean, like, they've been looking at my hashtags for the past few years or something. Like, it looks great. I mean, like you said, the collective bargain agreement, the whole My GM Next chapter. I mean, I can't even go into all of the stuff that they have. Like you said, they have the rookie scale contracts, the
Yep.
annual increases. I mean, they even
Hmm.
have players with bird rights. I mean, I think they had the bird rights in for a long time. I'm talking about way back to at least 2K11. So that's not pretty much that's not new,
Right.
but they have the minimum annual salary. About the minimum contracts will rise by 45% starting the 2017-18 season. The over
Hmm.
38 rule is like, they have restrictions on signing a player that turns 38 during the contract. Stretch provisions, roster minimums. I mean, they even have the G League in here.
And the G League is a major one that I noticed because, I mean, how many times have you guys thought, like, what if I want to build my team through, I mean, I guess it used to be called the D League. What if I want to build my team through the D League rather than through free agency?
Right.
These days you have a lot of, super teams and you got teams that are trying to build through free agency, but I mean, to be honest, it would be great if you could build your team through the D League. And I mean, that actually brings me to the point where they have draft picks that you actually can stash. That's another way you can build your team, is to draft a guy now and stash him. He might not come overseas till, a couple years after. I mean, they have crazy detail, man.
No. This is the thing. I know they had the D League in NBA 2K11. They
Hmm.
had the teams you could play as the teams, but I think the D League was for the my player. Like if you weren't that good trying to be on the NBA team, now
Right.
they will send you down to
Hmm.
the D League as a
Yep.
my player. So I thought that was pretty neat, and I'm surprised that it never came back until now. But I don't know how they're doing with the my player. But at least I think they took it a step further for, like, once again, guys like us who want to have our fingers all over our franchise mode. They have the G League where you could take players, send players down. And I mean, like I said, I think MLB The Show has this where you can send players down to AAA or whatever, or Double
Hmm.
A. So I mean, it's like, if you're going to get the full package, or if you're going to give us the NBA, if you're going to give us basketball, give us basketball.
Yep.
And I mean, they have like two-way contracts. They, like you said earlier, the international draft prospect stashing. I mean,
Hmm.
look at it. This is really getting to the point, and this is something I've been a big advocate for,
Right.
that you give me a basketball game, and I won't have to worry about buying another game at the minimum 2 years.
Yep.
Because I'm not I mean, it's okay, but I can do without buying yearly titles. And this is in one step in that direction to where I'm like, hold up. I can literally play a current basketball game. I don't have to go and play, NBA 2K14 on PC, or I don't have to go back
Hmm.
and try to play, any other earlier 2Ks. I can actually sit in like, look, I could play a current basketball game and actually be good for a long time. You
Yeah, I
know,
said this on Twitter. I mean, at this point, it's just a matter of, is the gameplay gonna hold its end of the bargain to where
absolutely,
guys like us will be like, maybe I'll pass on next year's game if it doesn't have something that is absolutely necessary to
absolutely.
fix problems in the game. I mean, we discussed that last year
I mean,
before
I mean,
that
not,
crop of games came out.
right. I mean, not only that. I mean, because we were in the dark about 2K17.
Yep.
We were fairly content with 16, but it's
Hmm.
like the lack of knowledge of 2K17, and then you saw what Ronnie 2K did on Twitter,
That
berating.
guy.
Yeah, he's berating consumers about a game or whatever.
Right.
It made you not want to buy 2K17. Oh, by the way, I got a couple of unfollowers from some guys, to a couple of developers at 2K because of that. But I don't care. But I mean,
Right.
you got to call a spade a spade. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do by your customers, you don't deserve our money. But you notice he hasn't said nothing this time around.
Of course not. Yeah, he kept his mouth shut because, I mean, it's not smart for business to have your main PR guy berating customers because they're asking for,
Information.
something that we deserve, which is information about the game. We already know 2K is not going to put out a demo. So,
No.
I mean, we're just asking for information about the game to decide whether we're going to purchase or not. Because believe it or not, not all of us are automatically going to purchase these games every year.
No, no, and I got to the point where I actually literally told in my video, I mean, it's on the channel, where I literally said I was going to pirate the game because Ronnie, they don't deserve my money if they're going to treat people like that. But
Yeah.
things have changed with 2K18. Looks like everything is on the up and up.
Yep.
As of right now, like you still need to see gameplay, and I'm really curious about this analytics tool. I'm looking at it right now where it says allowing you to plot any two statistics or metrics or vitals against each
Mm-hmm.
other. I mean, I think that is really, really neat. I mean, these guys are really going all out with giving you the NBA I ain't gonna say on the court yet, but giving it to you based on 2K17 on the court and
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes as far as owning your own franchise. And it's like,
Absolutely.
and I say, and like, if you're a sim guy, and I saw this on Twitter as well. Like a lot of people were saying, "Well, they got all this in there. I don't think I can deal with this and that and the third." Well, it's like, well, are you just sim because it plays well, or are you like a hardcore sim guy? Because
Right.
me, I mean, I could tell you right now, I did 2 30-year dynasties in NFL 2K5. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like I gotta be at like year 22
Right.
on one of my dynasties on the old PS2 Maddens, or the original Xbox Madden, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Madden '08 and NCAA '08 for the original Xbox. I'm like at year 22, and I've been
Yep.
going on like basically with the draft classes for 20 something years. So I'm embedded into this type of stuff. I love dealing with draft classes and dealing with, like on those games you can deal with player suspensions and how, the discipline, how that affects everything. That's me. So this, like I said, all this is speaking to me. So
And here's the key. Here's the key we didn't even talk about. The way 2K is making it so that these modes, like, my career and my GM, are sustainable for years to come. They randomize things like the sites of All-Star games.
oh
And you can
wow, I didn't even read
yeah,
that. I didn't even read
and
that.
and you can port in logos for the All-Star game. So I mean, it's like you can play this game for years, man.
But see, now it's getting to the point where if this holds up like it's supposed to, and I'm pretty sure it will, because this is an offline mode. I don't see it, acting up like Pro-Am or whatever, because
Mm-hmm.
it's offline. They're going to get to the point where 2K19, they're going to have to do what MLB did and
Yep.
have you to, transfer your data over.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, I can't see how they not do that. Because, I mean, with all this, the way it is, and if it works, and I'm gonna be honest, if the gameplay, and I know some people will look at it crazy because they have their own agendas or they have their own feelings, and some people make videos about the
Mm-hmm.
gameplay of NBA 2K17. If that gameplay is a smidge above better than 2K17, they're gonna have
Mm-hmm.
a real problem on their hands with trying to sell 19.
Oh yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Oh
You
no, I
know,
completely agree.
I mean, it's just the way it is, and it's like the same thing like with Madden. I don't care about Madden being overly over the top. As far as gameplay go, just get
Right.
better than what you did on 17. Because to me, Madden 17 played very well. I
Absolutely.
had no issue with. My problem is the same thing we're talking about now. Is the modes.
Yep.
That franchise mode just felt so hollow. It's like,
And it's still bare bones. It's gonna be
yeah.
bare bones again this year.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why at the end of this blog they took a shot at Madden. I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying it was just at Madden, but it was at any other company with the sports title who's doing franchise mode. Because let's be
Yep.
quite honest, everybody's franchise mode, even MLB, even MLB, the show, in which we can talk about it now, or I can definitely get in depth with it at a later time.
Mm-hmm.
Their franchise mode is not as good as people think it is.
Nope.
The reason about MLB the show, why they get so much praise, because they replicate baseball so good.
And it makes up for a lot of things that they're missing.
Exactly. That is baseball personified. Even with the issues with MLB The Show 17, which I done conceded I'm going to end up buying, or I'm going to trade some of my games in to get it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I just want to play it for myself. But even with 2K17, the things that I've seen, 2K17, MLB The Show 17, it personifies, it replicates baseball so well. I mean, they've been doing this for years, though.
Yep.
They've been replicating baseball so well. It's like some people are like, hey, I'm getting to the point where I can deal with shitty servers just to play against somebody. It's just that good.
Absolutely.
So it's like, but when it comes to the franchise modes, there's
Yep.
no doubt NBA 2K has surpassed so many other games. It's not even funny to
Oh
the
yeah.
point where it's going to be hard for some people to catch up. Now, one thing I was talking about earlier, the improved draft class generation, because I'm big on draft classes. I'm
Hmm.
really, I'm really curious of how they're going to do these draft classes, because they're saying that they did some early development and rethinking how they generate prospects,
Hmm.
respect to their player types. To be quite honest, I think they should just go ahead and low key. I'm not saying this officially, but unofficially get the draft classes from college and just throw them on there. They ain't even got to say they 2K.
Right.
They don't even have to be 2K official. Just put them on there and just put them under another name. And
Hmm.
just have them do it. If they're going to improve on it, why not? I mean, I know you got the community that does it,
Yep.
but I mean, why not just say, uh, just put any username and just put it out there? I mean, why not? I mean, who's gonna say it was them? I mean, hell, they can't say it
Right.
was them. I mean, they can go to a library and upload the draft classes on their computer, and nobody would never know it was a quote unquote official 2K
Right.
person. I mean, that's kind of what they did within the APF,
Yeah, there's
because
plenty of workarounds for
yeah,
that.
yeah, because like in APF, I mean, Deion Sanders' code is in the game.
Yep.
You just have to build him right. His likeness is in the game. He just is not on the game. But 2K did that. I think they did that with like 10 or 15 extra legends in that game.
Hmm.
But I can't. I know Deion Sanders was one of them. I mean, check with Ryan Moody. Ryan Moody knows exactly, but
Right.
I know Deion Sanders was one of them. Anyway,
Hmm.
I mean, you talked about the alternate uniforms, rebranding, all-star selection. You jumped on all of this already.
Even even randomizing equipment that players wear, which is crazy to me.
Right,
You
right.
can choose how often a guy wears a headband, how often he wears compression pants. I mean, that's just a crazy amount of detail, man.
Wow, that is crazy. I like that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm looking at it right now because I skipped it.
yeah,
Yeah, it says right here, it says we also added the ability for you to copy either home or away uniforms. Let's see what else it says. Relocate teams. You can rebrand teams. Okay.
yep.
Okay, I see it right there. There we go. So we're gonna keep going down and see what else. Playoff game resets, admins. Okay, that's for online play. They
Hmm.
have the ability to reset completed playoff games. Oh, here it is right here. I thought I missed it. Player accessory frequency.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the compression pants under the jerseys. How long will Rondo or Carmelo wear a headband?
Right.
Let's see if anything else. No, I don't see anything else. Pretty much you covered it already.
Yeah, I mean that's impressive, and it adds a level of replayability that a lot of these franchises just don't have. The All Star Game is a major one in changing the site for the All Star Game, because a lot of times you see in other games it's just it's repetition. You get the same site every year for the All Star Game. You get the same schedule every year, pretty much, for what teams play what teams, and 2K has really hit on something that'll give their mode replayability.
Right, right, exactly. So it's like I think that's another thing that is really great how they put that in there as well. I'm also looking at this other thing about hardship exception. Like if a player is injured, there's like in the event if your team has 4 players who are injured and missed 3 regular season games, or 1 week of calendar time, couple above with noted 2-way contracts, which we skipped. You have the
Yep.
option of this year to how to triage your roster in event disaster strikes. It says all in the name of authenticity.
Hmm.
Okay, jump
I
shot
mean,
creator.
I mean, free
Okay.
agent moratorium. is crazy too. You got a 3 day period where somebody can verbally agree to your team, and you might actually, like let's say LeBron opts out, which in real life everybody pretty much knows he's not going to go back to Cleveland. But let's say he verbally agrees to your team, and then 3 days later he ends up re-signing with Cleveland. That would be a crazy situation, especially with a player who's been with a franchise for a long time, and that franchise is trying to keep that guy. It could be interesting. It could ruin your whole free agency.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just so many things that are in here, and
Yeah.
I like that as well. That sounds great. Jump shot creator, we all know about that.
We've needed that
Yeah,
the jump shot created the way it used to be was perfect, and then they kind of dumbed it down for a couple of years, but much needed for that to come back.
right. Duplicate player picks for fantasy drafts. Okay, I like that.
Hmm.
Practice plays. That's something that I remember they had practice plays in College Hoops 2K8. You could practice plays in the middle of the season. They finally brought that back. So you
Hmm.
can do that in my GM and in my league. You can create a player and add it into the my league, which I think that is cool because I remember in NCAA football, when
Right.
you're recruiting, you could create a player while recruiting. So
Hmm.
I like that. But you can create players during the mid season, which I think that's kind of weird, but okay.
I think the reason they do that is because a lot of times if you start a franchise and you can't update the roster. So if you wanted to create a guy that is on your team now that didn't start the season, then you can do that, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah. I get that. Now these are the new team relocations. They have Fort Worth, Texas, El Paso, Texas, New Mexico, which New Mexico is really interesting because or Tucson, Arizona is also interesting too because I would like to see a little Southwest rivalry with the Phoenix Suns. I think that would be really interesting.
Right.
Fresno, California, they don't need any more basketball teams. Long Beach, no, they don't need. Mesa, Arizona, Virginia
Okay.
Beach. Virginia Beach is pretty neat.
Virginia would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be pretty. Colorado Springs, Colorado, you have a rivalry with the Nuggets.
Right.
And Raleigh, North Carolina, which I think they could have done without that one, honestly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when I'm looking at that, they could have. I mean, because the Charlotte Hornets, they don't need another team. They need all the players they can get. But
Right.
I mean, it would have been nice if they would have used somewhere like, let's see, Kentucky. I
Hmm.
think Kentucky would have been fantastic because they have already good college team there. I think Kansas would have been a nice one too.
Yep.
Kansas would have been great because what teams you got out there between Chicago and Denver? That Midwest is like blank.
Right.
Maybe you got Oklahoma City, but that's still kind of like the South somewhat.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
think
I mean, they had a lot of places that they could have put instead of Raleigh.
yeah, exactly. Those two come to mind, Kentucky or Kansas, because the fact that they have big colleges. I mean, don't get me wrong. North Carolina Tar Heels and Duke is nice, but I mean, you already got a basketball team there.
Hmm.
So to me, hell, for shits and giggles, I wouldn't mind if they'd use one of the Dakotas, South or North Dakota. You know?
Yeah, I mean that would definitely be interesting. I mean, once you get out northwest, you start to have a lack of teams. Like
Hey,
pretty much just got Utah and
it's my,
Denver
my
out there.
my my phone's ringing. I have no idea what this is. Like my ringtone. You got a dope ass ringtone, huh?
Yo, it
Well,
sounded like the stream was messing up for a second.
nah, that's my dumb ass phone. That's somebody calling me. I don't know who that is, but they'll be all right. Probably calling for who knows. Anyway, um, let's see where we at. Oh, you can consider like the size, market size, the metropolitan income,
Hmm.
television homes in the market. That's pretty interesting because my GM's always been like they had to worry about money, but it fluctuates throughout the cities, which kind of it already did. But since the relocation teams do that as well, it's pretty neat.
Hmm.
Um, They got better slider support for my GM, which is okay, whatever. All right, now I'm going to talk about these closing thoughts before we jump on to Madden's blog.
This first sentence, man. Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I shouldn't be at this point, but I'm continually surprised how little support other games give their franchise mode. There's nothing else to say. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, no other sports game could really clap back on that.
No, I mean all I can say is, these dudes got Twitter. You know what I'm saying? These dudes have Twitter pages and they're following a lot of us on there, looking at how do we react to news like, Madden's franchise not getting any love. And I mean, right now you can't tell 2K shit as far as franchise.
Yeah, I mean, as far as their mode, I mean, you can try to clap back and say gameplay this, gameplay that, but it's not about that. This is about the modes, and it's like,
and even then, when 2K's gameplay is top notch, like it was, launch day last year, you can't even really talk about gameplay.
Oh my god, man! NBA 2K16 launch day, that first month was just amazing.
Amazing, and that was back to playing similar to how it was, but I mean,
it ain't the same.
It took a while, and it's not the same.
It's not the same. That when 2K16 came out, that first 3 to 4 weeks, it
was amazing.
That game was amazing. It's like everything played out right. The passes, there was no clipping, no warping. You can dribble around people. There was none of that stuff. I mean, the ball was tangible. All the user
control was intact.
Yeah, the ball was tangible. Everything was fine, and then they started patching stuff, and there you go. I mean, even 2K17 plays well, but I don't think unless 2K18 proves me wrong, I don't think we'll ever get that type of basketball that we got in that small window.
I would say 2K17 at launch was a bit better.
You think so?
Yeah, because of the additions.
It wasn't bad. Though. You're right. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But one thing I would say that 16 did very well. Their post game was really good in 16.
Oh yeah, it was.
It's like you hold down both of the triggers and you press one of you move the right analog stick. Mm-hmm. You did the little shimmy and you did the hook. I mean, that type of stuff that was great. And I'm surprised they took that out, but.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think you're right. 17 might be a little bit better, but it's just
17 was crazy because they added to the player movement and they added to the freelance, so the freelance worked out a little bit better, and the player movement at launch was the best they had. But then they,
Well, I'll just put it like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think for us it was a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Because when 16 came out, we really enjoyed 16 together. I'm talking about me and you playing online.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we had a blast playing online to the point where it's like we could actually play people with straight up basketball knowledge, none of that crazy cheese or nothing, and we was actually dominating on my part until who came, and once they came, everybody was, they was trying to do their little exploits, and it didn't work, and then they got mad and started crying, and then once they start crying, all the patches come, and then you don't see us no more because that's not basketball.
But just for people who don't know, me and VF are pretty much strictly offline gamers, but even 2K pulled us in with the park, and we both made a My Player. And we're like, we're going to try this one day.
Oh, shit. We even spent money on VC, yo.
We spent money on VC. Like, we're preparing for these demigod, 6'10" power forwards and centers, right? So we get online, and for the first day, we're, owning dudes, right?
Strictly basketball.
Yeah, we're straight up, we're not using, these overpowered size ups and stuff like that. We didn't find one move that worked all the time. We legit were just using basketball. We would have one whack guy on our team and it wouldn't even matter.
Cause we made him play along with us, and he was actually playing decent.
Yeah.
We were moving around, spacing the floor. We were passing. We were doing cuts, layups, dunks. Because I was a 6'10" power forward. I think he was a 6'6" guard. I mean, we played out perfectly.
Yeah, and then we come back. like a week later, and we got these dudes with these dumbass haircuts.
That's when you knew things was wrong, right there. That's when you
Right.
know it was wrong, when dudes that were on the court playing basketball that did not look like basketball players. That's
Yeah,
when you knew it
they
was
had
wrong.
the dumbass cowboy hats. You remember them dudes?
Oh God. That's when you knew that was the beginning of the end
Oh
of
my
good
god,
basketball.
man.
That
And we still almost beat them,
Yeah.
but I mean, uh, the cheese was too much to overcome,
Nah,
man.
it was
It
terrible. I
was.
mean, it was great while it lasted, but that was terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's enough about that. I mean, the closing
Mhm.
thoughts. They're, as of right now, I mean, people can go ahead and say what they want to about how they feel about it, but at the end of the day, it's hard for that to be disputed right now.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
really
no.
think
I think by far they have the deepest experience for franchise to the point where you can probably get a good 2 or 3 hours of enjoyment without even playing a game, just outside of you
just
know
just being a GM.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean, I think like they started with the trade finder. The trade finder was the first thing that really symbolized everything, and it made things easier as far as finding trades for guys.
Right.
And once that made it into the game, I mean, they just took off from there.
I mean, I remember Trade Finder way back in NFL 2K3 or 4.
Yep.
And it was terrible. I mean, it was just bad. It was bad trade logic. But
Yep.
once
It
they
was
bought,
hard. Oh, it was horrible. Oh, it was horrible
yeah, I
trade
mean,
logic.
even with NBA 2K when they did it back on I don't think it was on the Dreamcast. It
Mm,
could have been on NBA 2K2 on the Dreamcast. I mean, I have it right. I could check one day and find out. But
right.
it was bad. It didn't get good until at least 2K10 or 2K11
Yeah.
because the basketball game was more refined and it gave you legit trades that made sense from each team.
Yep.
So it was like, oh, well, I like this trade, but I might try that one because they all made sense. And then it followed the rules of the NBA, so it wasn't just just putting guys together like it was back then. It was like, okay, this is the reason why it works, and if it don't work, they'll give you an explanation of why it doesn't work. Well, you don't own this person bird rights, or it goes over the salary cap. You need to let go of this much money, or this person has an exception. It was all type of things like that that they put in. So
And now they have 3-player trades, which makes things even better. They took it out for 1 year, but they have
yeah,
it back
yeah.
now. And 3-team trades make it so that those trades that you really don't think you can pull off, as far as getting rid of some guys and clearing cap, you end up being able to pull off.
Hey, you add another team in.
Yep.
So like I said, with the closing thoughts, like we said, as of right now, I mean, I don't see nobody taking that spot as far as franchise mode alone.
No.
We're not talking about the entire game, so don't start typing, your little keyboards. Don't set them on fire. Don't set your fingers on fire with all the craziness. We're not talking about the game entirely.
Right.
But
We haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. But as far
Yeah.
as the franchise mode, they got it like easily. So
Yep.
we're gonna jump over to Madden. And shout out to Steve Noah. He put this out on Operation Sports, which they redid their website and it looks
And
fantastic.
it looks great.
Yeah,
man.
it looks really really good. So we're going to scroll up and it says the most requested Madden community requests and how they were improved. We're going to start off with the off-ball injuries.
That's a major one.
That is a major one. I mean, I haven't seen off-ball injuries since All-Pro Football, and it was like I thought that we would never see him again, honestly, because
Right.
Madden. We never talked about it in Madden. It was kind of a forgotten thing
Yep.
because nobody talked about it. Because I remember, I mean, I was playing APF about a week ago, and my wide receiver was cutting across the field, and he pulled his hamstring. And I was like, oh man, what the hell I'm supposed to do? Because he was a silver receiver. And I was like, yo, I don't have anybody else to replace, but, at generics, but I ain't got nobody to replace him. But stuff like that makes you, have to strategize in the middle of a game, But it says right here, it says when an off-ball injury occurs, you won't see an injury animation on the field, only an injury notification under the scoreboard. I can live with that. I can live with that because I mean, you're gonna have some people. Oh my God, you don't see him grab his leg. So what does that mean? No, I can live it because you got to crawl before you walk. This has never been done in Madden, and for them to do it that way, I'm okay with that. Like I said, APF, you can see them grab their hamstring. You can see them grab their shoulder in the middle of a play. I mean,
Hmm.
that's cool. But for Madden, they never did it before. So for them, it's like I can live with that.
Yep.
And then it says like you may see the injury notification after the play, but before the sideline can report the severity of the injury, the player may have already returned to the game. What?
Hmm. So I mean, so it may be a situation where a lineman gets pulled for a second for a cramp.
Okay, yeah, because that right there just threw me for a loop. It confused me for
Yeah.
a second, but I get it, I get it, and
So if a
that's
dude
good
gets a
though.
cramp or rolls his ankle or something like that, see, that's something they can expand upon in the future. They can shoot to the sidelines and show a guy, maybe if he's dehydrated, taking in some fluids or whatever. I mean, there's a bunch of things they can do.
Kind of like how it was in 2K5, and that guy, like he had a sprain or something like that, and they had to
Oh
take.
yeah, and they show him like wincing on the sideline.
Yeah, or they're showing about to come back in the game. He's on the
Yep.
bicycle or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, this stuff has never been done in any Madden. So I
Yep.
mean, this is good stuff. I mean, the ball hog skill mechanic. I mean, we already know how that goes.
Thank God they fixed that.
Yeah, because the holding the Y, that was, to me, it was
That's
too.
not defense.
No, it was too easy because I was like, okay, I wasn't used to it. So I was so used to timing it. When the ball get to me, press Y or press triangle,
Right.
bam, get the interception. But now it's like when you hold on the Y, it got to the point where you didn't even have to control the player, just hold Y, and he'll like cut back in to get the interception. It's not like you have to, move the player. So once you hold down the button, it's ball hog. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about it from a real life perspective, no guy really runs around the field fulfilling his duty as far as coverage is concerned, ready to pick a ball off at any split second. You know what I'm saying? You have to prepare yourself as far as, coordinating your steps, deciding whether to swat a ball or go for a pick. But when dudes are holding down ball hawk,
It does
it's
everything for him.
yeah, it does everything for him. It was like heat secret tackle.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like, intercepting the ball is, I'm not going to say it's one of the toughest things, but hell, it is one of the toughest things to do. Because first of all, the ball is not going to you per se.
Exactly.
So you have to break on that ball. You have to make a decision, like really quick.
Yep.
Like, am I going to swat? Am I going to intercept? Am I just going to go for the tackle? Whatever
And
the
most
case may
times
be.
you're catching the ball in a position where your body's in a position that's not used to catching the ball. As a wide receiver, usually you're in a position where you can make a decent play on the ball, whether it's to defend, against an interception or, make a play on the ball as far as making a catch. As a DB or a linebacker or whoever it is picking the ball up, it's such a reaction because you don't really expect the ball to be coming your way.
Right, exactly. So
Unless you're just straight jumping a route. I mean, you're not really
But I mean,
expecting the ball to be coming.
even jumping a route that's
Yep.
based on instinct. You don't know if you should jump it now or jump it later or don't
Right.
jump at all. It's like
That's true.
you just don't know. So I mean, that's all that is based on instinct and the ball hawk mechanic. The way it's set up on Madden 18 is perfect. I like the
Mhm.
way that is. The hit stick mechanic is back to the right stick.
Another thing that's
Defenders will no longer be able to use aggressive tackle mechanic. Let me tell you something about this. This should not be an aggressive tackle mechanic.
nope.
My thing is the hit stick should be on the right stick. I'm all for that. Now, this aggressive tackle mechanic, that should be your wrap up tackle.
Yep.
That's what it should be. Like if you hold down that button, now this is something I wouldn't mind. If you hold down that button, you'll be able to wrap up a tackler.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that is you may get some shifting and warping. That's the problem with that. But
Right.
we could just take the whole holding down thing out of it or just press the button.
Yeah,
And-
because I've mostly used conservative tackle for most of my tackling, especially last year when they moved the hit stick to square and X. I just didn't like it.
No, I didn't like it
And-
either.
And it's a much easier way. I don't say easier way. It's a much better way to ensure that you're going to make the tackle is by using conservative tackle, especially with the smaller DBs. But now, because they brought back hit stick to what it was before, where you can actually cut low or hit somebody high, now I can use my smaller DBs to take dudes' legs out, which is what it used to be about.
That's what it used to be exactly.
Yeah.
The lower
So
high, the lower high hit sticks. I remember when that first came out in Madden '05. I take that back. Madden '05
I
had,
think
yeah,
06.
Madden '05 had the regular hit stick where
Yep.
you just hit them. '06, it had to be '06 or '07 because I remember it was called Hit Stick 2.0. And that's where you can hit high and hit low by pressing down on the stick.
Oh no, you know what? It was Madden 08. It was Madden
There
08.
you go, Hit Stick
Yep.
2.0, and that's where they started. You hit the legs or you can hit the shoulders. So
Yep.
that's great. All right, they also have ball carrier special moves. Their special moves is juke, spin, and hurdle. It's been updated in Madden 18. I don't have to say. I don't want to say anything about it. I just need to see that because they
They said they. What did they say? They sped it up or something like that.
yeah, something like that. But
Yeah.
I remember they were supposed to have special moves for different players back in 25, and they were supposed to do it in 17, and they didn't do it. I mean, I ain't gonna say they didn't do it. I didn't notice it, so I'm not gonna speak on that too much. I just have to see that.
Yeah, cause like the what do they call it? The precision modifier.
In 25, exactly.
It was cool, but I don't really instinctively think to use it. Now, if I can go into practice mode and see which moves would be most effective.
Well, you know what they should have done, to be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
They should have just stole the mechanic from 2K.
Yeah.
When 2K did that charge where you hold down a button and then, like, say you hold down one button and you press the other button to do the move, like if you want to juke left, you hold down the button and you press the juke button or the juke stick and he'll do a more elaborate juke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or they would have done something more catered to their size, like what Warwick done when I was playing with him, or when I had one of my running backs when I was doing one of my 30-year dynasties. I had a running back. He was like 5'8", and he was like 170. But he was my third down back. But he, like when I did the charge with him, he would do like this crazy move where it's like a stutter step, then a juke.
Yep.
See,
because they have they had what 2K did, which was great as far as their jukes. They had canned animations that were, well, I won't say long drawn out animations, but they were animations that had several moves that you could branch out of.
Right.
And you can branch out of, because he'd do a stutter and then a little fake to the right,
or he'd do a spin or something
right.
like that.
So
See,
it was, and they look good too.
Yeah, exactly. It played out very well. Even though, like back then, it was 2004. It wasn't canned animation, but you look at that back in 2004, you was like, "Oh my God, that was beautiful." Compared to you just got finished playing Madden 04, and Madden 04 was nice. I mean, look, that was personally, I think that had one of the best passing mechanics in any game
ever.
But if you look at running the football, running the football between the tackles was nice in Madden 04, but as far as players moving and juking and spinning, 2K had that down great. And like I said, Madden should have just, hell, why not? Just steal it from them. It will flow so much better for people who want to run the ball. And if you had, and let's think about this, Bills, you had that on top of that running game in Madden 25.
Oh yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, think about it. The running game in Madden 25 on top of that type of mechanic, unstoppable.
Especially since now they're claiming that. Well, I don't say claiming like they're lying, but they say that the weight and the momentum, as far as how easy it is to turn on a dime for ball carriers, has gone back to Madden 25 level to a certain extent.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna have to see, because me and Virtual, we were highly impressed with Madden 25. As far as that was concerned,
Madden 25 on the Xbox One and PS4 has the best running game that I've seen in the next gen, hands down.
I think ever, based on the foot planning and having to manage your turbo out of cuts, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, I really liked it.
It was crazy.
Also, they have dropped interceptions. Okay, I don't have a problem with that.
They were talking about competitive. They were talking about competitive mode with that. I wish they would drop the number of interceptions in simulation mode too. To a certain extent, drop the number of dropped interceptions. But if it's going to go strictly by ratings, then that's cool.
You know who did a pretty good job of dropping interceptions? NCAA 14 did a pretty good job of dropping interceptions.
Oh, they definitely
They did really good. So when I didn't know this was a competitive thing, but um, it would be nice to bring that over to the sim side too, because I mean I just don't know how that will play out on the sim side though. Because is it based on more like ratings? Because if that's the case,
I think it's going to be ratings based, which is fine.
Yeah, so we probably wouldn't have that issue so much. So I guess it is a competitive thing because the competitive guys are like, yeah, it happens too much. Rightfully so. I mean, look what kind of style you're playing. I mean, even before these modes came in, look what kind of style you were playing. So,
I mean, and also I was gonna say that's not really a topic we were gonna touch on tonight, but just to touch on that for a second, as far as competitive versus simulation, like I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether you're a competitive player or a simulation player. Dudes have been out here, tooting their own horn as far as, competitive players are so much better and simulation players are so much better. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We're all getting a mode that we can play, and there's no point in trying to decide who the superior gamer is, because to be frank, neither side is going to go and play on the other side's terms to determine that.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care about any other mode.
Right.
You can say
I'm straight simulation.
You know what I'm saying? You can say you're better all you want, but then again, when I cut on my TV and I play the game, what you think you're better at does not matter at all. Because I'm going to play the game and enjoy myself.
Yeah, I mean, there's arguments for both sides, but at the end of the day, it's about preference. Do you want randomness, which is football? A lot of randomness, drop passes, incomplete passes, or if you're online, maybe you would feel robbed by that happening. And I can understand that. But it doesn't make you any better of a gamer than a sim gamer.
Exactly.
Now, Arcade, on the other hand, they don't have an arcade.
I'm not even on. I'm actually surprised that's in the game. They need to just go play NFL Blitz. I mean, that's arcade football, right?
Right, pretty much.
Well, anyway, speaking of competitive play, the swerve is, they say now that is no longer effective. Defenders will play the ball effectively. You can't swerve nobody out of position. Mm-hmm. I don't care about that. I mean, how you feel about it?
I mean, it's not going to affect us, I don't think.
No, I mean, because like I said, we're going to be trying to play our CFMs, or if we do play against somebody, it is what
we're going to keep it in our circle pretty much as far as I'm concerned. As long as they have it, like if I wanted to play you online, as long as they have it where we could choose the settings that we play on, I mean, I don't think that'll really be a factor. So
Right, exactly. Curl flat zones.
That's definitely a big
one. That's one. I'm glad they're actually getting that. Underneath defenders won't jump routes 5 yards and under. They've had that issue for a long time.
I mean, it's been a really long time. I mean, curl flats is a route that could get you a good 5 or 7 yards just automatically anytime you really felt like using that play. I mean, it was pretty much money.
Right, exactly.
So
yeah, so that's good to have that. Big legacy issue was focused on fumble recoveries. We eliminated extended pals. We eliminated the extended pals and nobody can recover the ball. You'll see much faster reaction to the ball on the ground. Players have an improved ability to grab the ball when they get close to their hands. I have an issue with that.
Last year was ridiculous, but I do agree with how they voiced it.
Yeah, I like what they're doing, but this is the issue I have. Go back to any PS3 Madden, and with the fact that they're saying that they have an improved ability to grab the ball when it gets close to their hands, you have an issue where the ball could shift to somebody's hand who's not closer to somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the only issue I have with that. And
I think there should be a fumble recovery rating. And if there's not a fumble recovery rating, I know we have a lot of ratings in the game. If they don't want to have a fumble recovery rating, then how about this? The awareness rating should matter. The whatever rating would they probably have?
Hands. catching.
Yeah, catching. Yeah, catching could work. Catching could work.
But I think you touched on something very interesting.
Hmm.
Fumble recovery rating.
Yeah.
I think that will be really good for linemen,
Yep.
fullbacks,
Hmm.
running backs.
And quarterbacks.
Uh,
Even though, okay, because this is the thing.
I can see quarterback, but quarterback will be on the lower tier.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
They'll
they
be
would
on the,
definitely be lower tier.
they'll be on the lower tier of the guys who we just mentioned.
Definitely.
I don't think receivers,
No, they wouldn't
DBs,
really. Nah, they wouldn't
um,
really.
no, I don't think linebackers will be a slightly ahead.
But I would say secondary guys only for the scoop and score dudes. You could have a rating for that,
But
especially you got dudes coming and laying the lumber. There's always dudes coming to scoop and score. So
yeah, that'd be perfect for linebackers. I get
yeah,
that. Maybe some strong safeties,
hmm
not free safeties, but strong safety
nah,
definitely.
right,
Um, I think that covers everybody in there. I think because I don't think receivers. I think the
nah,
receivers, quarterbacks, DBs, they'll be on
yep,
the lower end of fumble recoveries.
right.
I think linemen will be at the top because of the fact that they're always good at the bottom of a pile because they're bigger.
And because at the end of the day, I mean, Madden always, they try to tailor the stats towards real life. I'm sure if they look at real life, they'll realize that most of the fumble recoveries are by linemen.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
or
And you got to think
quarterbacks
about
if they're right
yeah,
there, but
you have to, yeah, exactly. But you have to think about that. Quarterbacks get fumble recoveries off a botch snap. That is
yep.
easy. But when if a running back's running through the line
Hmm.
and he fumbles, the linemen are more capable of getting that recovery because not only it's not about their hands, it's about them recovering the ball. They have a big, massive body,
Yep.
340, 350 pounds. They go under the pile. They cover the entire ball with their body or their upper body. You're not getting that from them.
Exactly.
So that's why I say I think linemen, offense and defensive linemen, they should be the higher rated with the fumble recoveries, and then it
Yep.
just kind of branches out from there. So even with fullbacks, I think, but they're kind of spaced out. They're not really in the games anymore. But I think
Right.
fullbacks would be up there with them as well, because also fullbacks are just like they're just glorified linemen anyway.
Hmm.
Tight ends, same thing. They may be, up there as well because they have bigger bodies. Now, with the tight end, should be a little different because it's based on size.
Hmm.
If you have an athletic tight end, no, that's not going to work too well. But if you got somebody like you say, Tony Gonzalez or Rob Gronkowski, they're big. They were big guys, and they know how to use their body in those situations. I think that'd be perfect for them as well.
Oh, another thing that they didn't put in this article before we go any further, being able to press tight ends.
Mm.
That is a big one.
Yeah, that is. That I'm surprised. I wonder if that's actually in the game because you can
Not
press.
yet. They said it in the defensive. They said in the wide receiver DB interactions one. They said that you can press tight ends now, and that's major.
Yeah, I mean you need that because tight ends are becoming way more lethal now.
Especially, especially yeah, like you said, they're becoming way more lethal, and with the crazy packages that you have these days, especially with the double tight end sets, it's damn near impossible to guard them on drags and stuff like that if you can't press them off the line.
Right, exactly.
So,
All right, so you got to think about user control linebackers. User control and the linebacker were able to take away most of the routes in the middle of the field in the past. We made some alterations to defender run curves, turn rates, ensure only elite defenders are capable of making these type of plays. I don't think they're. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have to see that to believe it. I don't think they'll ever get rid of that because of if you have a linebacker that's even remotely fast, he can
hmm
be able to get to cover that a lot of field. Which in real life that's not realistic, but in Madden it is what it is.
I think they would have to overhaul the footwork for the DBs for that to matter.
You talking about linebackers, right?
Well, for all defenders, for that to matter, they would have to redo the footwork for how defenders move in general in order for the speed ratings and the acceleration ratings to then come into play for linebackers to not be able to do that. They would have to first, I think, adjust the engine as a whole.
Mm.
But I mean, hey, if they fixed it, then no
I mean,
policy.
I got to see to believe, but
Right.
something like that being fixed is like you talking about actually pretty much rebranding or retooling the entire footwork of that game, and you know that footwork has already had problems.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be something that'll be years in the making if they
Yep.
started today. You might not
Right.
see that till Madden 2021 or something like that.
Right.
But rack drop open racks one of the biggest technical issues they dealt with 17.
Yeah.
The online team worked extensively. We also did a lot of tuning to an organic knockout system to ensure fewer cases of drop catch due to collision once the ball has been secured. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to go with that one because
Yeah.
to me I look like if that's like a technical thing that we might not even understand anyway. And on top
Right.
of that, if a player gets hit hard enough, he drops the ball. I mean, I have no reason to get mad at that. That's what happens.
Yeah. It seems like more of an online thing.
Yeah. Hard flat zones. Community stated they wanted hard flats to play the flats more aggressively.
Another big one.
Yeah, because those little swing passes was really easy to get.
Especially considering you had the swerve mechanic that dudes love to use as far as swerving and being able to get more yards after the catch because your defenders couldn't break down and make a tackle just based on the speed of the game. The speed of the game as a whole and how it moves wouldn't support, players, breaking down and making a tackle in a situation like that out on the flat. So
Right. Now this is another one that's interesting. Right after that, AI defenders, SWAT, and versus interception. Now the competitive community requested move outcomes where defenders would SWAT down what would have been an easy interception.
mm-hmm.
All right, right there it says only in competitive defenders will always go for the interception on an open read on the ball.
So my question
Oh
is,
God.
so this is my question. Based on the AI, based on the team adjustments, the game plan adjustments, I think we may be able to remedy that. Where if we want our guys to be aggressive, we can set it to aggressive and they'll always go after a pick.
Well, this is only in competitive mode.
Right, but I'm saying the way we can remedy it on simulation, if you have a problem with your guys not going after picks, is just to put your guys' settings on the aggressive.
Yeah. I think they already had that. I know they had it on NCAA 14.
Oh, they definitely did, yeah.
I know they had it, but my thing is, and like I said, this is for the competitive community. So to me, it won't really work out for us. But I'm just thinking, it's like, how would that work if you want somebody to always go for interception? I don't. I guess,
Yeah,
but
that's
it
true.
does say it says for on an open read on the ball. So I get that. I can get that.
Right.
All right, directional control of rack catches. Center implementation of rack catches. Players running out of bounds on the throw to the flat. Okay.
I do like that. That was another issue.
That's more of an awareness issue that they fix. I like that. Weight and size factor.
That's obviously big. We've been talking about that for years.
Ever since the no one talks about Infinity Engine came out, that's always been an issue. So
Yep.
So I'm with that. Overtime in play now games, offline play now games now use overtime rules, playoff overtime rules, rather than regular season overtime rules. I wonder if you can turn that on or off.
Would be nice if you could.
Yeah. Because I guess play now. I guess in play now. If you're playing against somebody, you don't want them to end up in a tie. But to me, that's football. It is what it is. If both of you guys decide to be losers, then both of you guys decide to be losers. Because that's how I look at a tie. Both of y'all lost.
Right.
Let's say lower rated QB accuracy. Complaints about lower rated QBs being too accurate. Okay, they've been dealing with that since Madden 15. I remember that.
And last year they took a giant leap in making um, I'll say user controlled quarterbacks less accurate, but
Right.
as far as making the AI controlled quarterbacks less accurate, they've been working on that for a while now.
Yeah, because I mean, you had the Robo QB in Madden 15. It was like crazy.
Like I don't think it's so much. I don't think it's so much. That I have a problem in the pocket. It's outside the pocket
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they're a little bit too accurate throwing on the run for
yeah,
me.
yeah. I can agree with that.
That's
Defensive practice mode. When a user is on defense, the AI will not snap the ball if it senses the user making defensive adjustments.
okay.
Yeah, that
I
sound
don't
like
really
that.
know how I feel about that. It wouldn't that because that's not really replicating a real life situation.
That sound like that caters to the competitive side to me. Like
Yeah.
guys who wanna practice certain defensive moves when they're not playing against somebody. That's what that sound for us sim guys. He's like, yo, you gotta be on point. You need to hurry up and get your plays
Yeah,
together.
if you're in a real game, somebody ain't gonna be like, oh wait, like if you're playing your boy on the couch, you're not gonna be, oh well, wait a minute, I'm making adjustments.
I
Like,
mean,
nah.
even in practice mode, you got to think about it. I mean, even if you're in practice on the football field in real life, they're not going to wait.
Hell no.
That's what practice is all about. So in a real game, you know how to make those adjustments
Exactly.
like that. So I that looks like just more catered to the competitive crowd. Slower players catching faster players. I'm not even getting to that. I don't even know.
Because I think I could adjust that with the threshold.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Slider.
I don't even know why in Madden 18 that would be well.
I think it would be an issue online, probably.
God, I hate playing online.
I mean, this is the things they have to do to, make their online playable. Things like that, I could definitely agree with, but that's just as simple as adjusting the threshold. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That always helped me.
I mean,
Position.
they had that in there since what, Madden 11? They had the speed threshold in there.
I think it was first implemented in the NCAA game because those come out first.
True.
It could have been. I think I remember seeing it in NCAA 10.
Mm-hmm.
It might have been in 11, but I think it had to be 10 or 11.
Madden 11 was a blur to me anyway.
Oh
That
my
game was
god,
garbage.
that game is fucking terrible. NCAA wasn't bad, but no, that was bad too.
The bad NCAA game was NCAA 09. Whichever one it was with Crabtree on the cover, shit was garbage.
Now, and let me tell you something. Just in general, every game up until 17, every game that had an odd number was fucking terrible.
Oh yeah, we
After
we talked about that too.
after Madden 05, after Madden 05, 07 was garbage. 09, 11, 13. And 13 wasn't bad. It was just the Infinity Engine was jacked the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
And 15 wasn't bad. It's just nobody knew how to tackle. Everybody was just running into each other.
Yep.
And 17 was the first odd number Madden that actually did something for us.
Right.
Position defensive hot routes. I think they already had that. I'm actually surprised that is a thing.
I think they added more.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah. Defensive hot routes by position, yeah, they added a lot more. I'm not gonna get into those. It looks like each one has about 8 different ones for each position.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much it for that blog. Overall, what's your thoughts between both blogs, NBA 2K18 and Madden 18? What are your thoughts about both of them?
See, for me, it's not really comparable, only because if 2K's was a gameplay blog, I would be able to compare them a little bit more. I do think overall 2K's blog is more impressive just because the level of detail they put into their franchise mode. I do like the fact that Madden addressed a lot of legacy issues, and most of those are going to affect gameplay mightily. But I mean that 2K blog, man, that was something else, yo.
I mean, both of them to me, I think it's a lot of good information. It's good stuff. I would love to see this implemented. I do have more. I do have more faith in the NBA 2K18 blog because it's a mode.
Right.
It's very hard to mess up an actual mode, especially if it's an offline mode.
Right.
I don't see how you can mess that up. Madden, it to me it's just still, it's more gameplay stuff. It's more stuff that they need to be fixed from.
Hmm.
I mean, you can see like the stuff that we talked about. This is stuff that we felt that should have been implemented 2 or 3 years after they obtained the license.
Yep.
I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, at the time, Madden was riding high, and
Hmm.
Madden was a very good game. And then you see the infamous that infamous CGI trailer from back in '06.
Oh Lord.
I mean, you would think that all this stuff would have been, or most of the stuff would have been implemented. So it's like I give credit to the guys at EA for actually trying. You can look at them, see, you can look and tell they're really trying since they
Oh yeah.
got there, and I never knock them for that because they have been very transparent with trying to get us on board to at least have dialogue. I'm not
And
saying that.
they're dealing with a lot of disgruntled um there's a lot of disgruntled customers that don't believe that they are, they have the best interest at
I,
heart.
I
But,
mean, I can say it's somewhat rightfully so, but you got to think
right.
about
No,
this.
definitely rightfully so.
No, I don't know. It's not. I don't feel that way no more.
It's not, well, no, I definitely don't feel that way, but I'm saying there are a lot of people overall that after the Ian Cummins era pretty much washed their hands of EA as far as football is concerned, and it even makes its way over to other EA franchises. So,
Yeah, no, that is true, and it's not fair to those franchises. But when you look at the situation, it's like you would think with Madden '08 and Madden 10, they had something there, and then the bottom
mhm.
just fell.
Yep.
And after Madden 11, it was like nobody didn't really want to deal with them anymore.
Nope, and rightfully so. Madden 11 was one of the most insulting sports games I have ever played.
Oh my
As
god!
far as calling yourself a simulation and putting that out,
Yeah, I think you
man,
can pick that game up at your local GameStop for like 35 cents.
shit, 35 cents is a bit too much to pay for that
But
shit.
you want to know another thing that's funny though? This whole situation was like Madden has the gameplay stuff.
Yep.
2K is not showing anything gameplay. 2K
Mhm.
has the mode stuff, and Madden doesn't have the mode stuff.
Right.
It's like they're swapping what other people want. So I noticed people's like, "Oh, 2K needs to show gameplay," but at the same time, Madden's talking about gameplay, and they're talking about, "Well, Madden need the modes." It's like, I look at the community, and I looked at some of the people what they're saying on Twitter, and I'm like, I think at the end of the day, man, we just need to be. I'm not saying to be content with what you have, but there's nothing here to say that you're upset about. This is some good stuff. You,
Right.
you you can't. I mean, if you honestly be honest with yourself,
Hmm.
this is not stuff to be upset about. This is some really good stuff that they're trying to implement in this game for both games.
I agree.
Now, my thing is, if the gameplay matches, well, that's yet to be seen. But
Yep.
people in this community, people who've been playing sports games for a while, you know what you're getting into. You've been
Hmm.
playing these games for a while. If you pick up this game or any one of them and still be mad, you might need to play something else.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons. Like I said in episode 1, dude, I literally have about between 70 and 80 different sports titles from the Sega Genesis all the way up to the PS4.
Right.
If I get pissed off at Madden on the current Madden or the current 2K, I'll just go play something else and just be fuck that. I'm not. I mean, I did it back in the day making these videos. I did it a while back being on Twitter all the time.
Hmm.
There's a note, and I'm pretty sure Bills could say this because Bills he's very animated at times, but 9 times out of 10, if we don't talk about a certain game,
Hmm.
more than likely we don't like it.
Exactly.
That's all you need to know. If you
And
don't,
we don't waste time. And we don't waste time talking about it because there's nothing productive that can come out of it.
right, it's like I learned that when I was making videos. I'm like, people would ask me, well, why you don't make a video on this? If you don't see a video of that on my channel, that's your indication that I don't like that game.
Right.
There's no reason to show you why I don't like it. How about I don't just play it?
Right.
So I mean, I don't know what else to say. this is supposed to be a snippet of what they get. This is like this is gonna be episode 3, dog.
y'all
Shit, we don't went on.
y'all getting a bonus episode, man.
Yeah, it look like it's gonna be episode 3. I mean, shit, we already over an hour easily.
Yeah.
But see, that's how it goes when we be talking, man. I mean, we start talking and it just goes.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, I hope everybody enjoyed. Leave any comments in the comment section. Send us any message on Twitter. And shout out
hit
to
us up, because this is definitely a discussion piece, man. I mean, we still got a couple weeks left before Madden comes out, so I mean, there's a lot of discussion to be done about the information they put out, because we're only going to get more as the weeks go by. So,
right, exactly. You know, I mean, like I said, we do have other plans on doing other things, collaborating together, which I'll talk to Bills about down the road. I think I have some great ideas that I want to bring to the table. I think you guys will enjoy. Anything else you want to add?
nah, I mean, I'm excited for this year's crop of sports games, man. I'm just ready to dig in and see what we got. I'm not about the whole, complaining, and I'm not about the, bickering back and forth on Twitter about competitive versus sim. I mean, I'm just here for the games, yo.
Or EA versus 2K and all this other stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and to me, I'm actually surprised. I knew it was coming when I read the blog, so that's why I didn't say anything about it. I just wanted to just come on here and I wanted to talk to you about it, because I didn't want to get into it, or I didn't really want to see it. But at the end of the day, man, as of right now, man, I kind of feel bad for Live, man. I really, really do. Because I
do and I don't at the same time. Because see, this whole time 2K hasn't released anything, it would be a perfect opportunity for them to come out and talk about their game, but they've been silent, man.
This would be a good see, this is my thing, man. You don't want to technically strike first. And at the end of the day, this is what Live will be doing if they was to say they're going to show off some gameplay, some extensive gameplay.
True.
You don't want to strike first, because they're not in a position to do so. So it's like,
right.
You don't want to do that, and then 2K drops something, and then you'll be like, damn, this Live 16 all over again. So
I kind of stopped thinking about Live when they couldn't give a definitive answer about whether player editing was going to be in. A lot of people said that they thought it wasn't going to be. It hasn't been confirmed that it's not going to be. I hope it's something they're working on and that we get. But that'll be a big nail in the coffin of Live if we have another year where we can't edit rosters in any form. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that would be terrible, especially if you just looked at this blog that 2K18 came out with the editing. You can edit headbands and other accessories on players on a night by night basis.
And how often they wear them? I mean, it's like we've been waiting for Live to just put that in there, period, outside of franchise. 2K is doing this strictly in franchise.
And they're like, yo, I would like to change this player's number, but I can't.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, that sucks, man. I mean, I want to see Live succeed, but I mean, just talking about from a sim gamer standpoint.
Right.
I mean, for the stuff that we want in our sim games, they might be in trouble on that aspect.
Oh, yeah.
I think Live would be good pretty much for what we played 16 for. I think that Pro-Am would be nice. Personally, I think Live should have just turned into NBA Live Pro-Am and just stuck with that, because they did a fantastic job with that mode.
They should have pushed that. They should push. They should continue to push this Drew League and the one, because I will say that mode looks incredible.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. If they did that, then people will have an alternate basketball game to go to, because it gives you that. You're not looking for a 100% sim. Yeah, Live is going to be a sim game, but it doesn't try to go toe-to-toe with 2K. It's like, okay,
exactly.
We have this over here, something that they don't have, which will force people to buy the game because it's a different experience. Just like what we've been saying on the first episode, like it don't have to be necessarily the same game. It could be the same. It just don't have to be the same experience. It has to be something different that you get when you play the game. So, hey, we didn't mean to go that far in Live, but I kind of feel bad for them right now, because 2K put out a lot of stuff in this blog. I don't see a reason to play a franchise on live right now.
Nope. I
You
mean,
know, it's
yeah,
so I mean,
more of the same,
yeah,
pretty much.
right. So I mean, that's all I gotta say, man. Like I said, guys, I mean, we went on a mini topic right there, but if you have any feedback, man, hit us up on Twitter. Our Twitter links will be down in the description.
Definitely.
Also, that logo is not in this video, but the First and Frame Rates logo is made by Jaros. You can catch him at Jaros6 on Twitter. He makes some great stuff, and he's an artist. And if you need anything, I'm pretty sure he'll hook you up. You may need to come out a couple of dollars, but it's all worth it because I think his logo looks great.
Nah, I agree.
Yeah. So anything else, man? You good? And we just close this
Nah, I
out?
mean, y'all, please tell your friends about this.
Yeah.
Tell your
Please pass
friends
it
about
on.
this podcast.
Please pass it on because we want to make it better. We want to make it grow. Hopefully, we may get to the point where we can go live, but that
Yep,
all depends on you guys on how y'all want to do. Because if it's live, then we can interact on the fly. So,
absolutely.
thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys take care. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.